When you think of the lifestyle of a typical UFC champion and star, what comes to your mind? Is it the flashy cars and jewelry, the exotic models they elope with, or the numerous media content constantly dished out by their respective PR teams? Whatever lifestyle pattern you can think of, Jiri Prochazka is a massive exception. The Czech native has a way of life unlike none other in the MMA sphere. He lives in a cottage in the forest, locks himself in dark rooms for days.
I don't like to talk about that a lot because it's my personal stuff, but one thing, it's about to searching your inner power in quiet places, and where you can take the power from your mind, from the concentration, and to show it in the cage.
And has a training regiment that would put most MMA stars to shame. So sit back and let's take a deep dive into the life and psyche of Jiri Prochazka. Jiri, as he's popularly known as, was born in 1992 in the southern region of the Czech Republic. Given the nature of his neighborhood at the time, he didn't necessarily have the best upbringing, and things were made worse when he lost his dad at the tender age of 6. Having to grow up without a natural father figure, Prochazka from a young age had to assume a level of responsibility and emotional maturity that most kids his age couldn't dream of. And in many ways, this played a huge part in shaping who he is today. As a youth, Jiri also played amateur football for his local team in Czech Republic.
There I started with the football about around six year.
Before engaging in freestyle bike riding in order to find a means of livelihood, given his lack of college education. But he finally began to find his calling when he started partaking in street fights. Almost like a duck to water, Prochazka found a home in street fighting from which he got into more than 100 of them, and eventually joined the hooligan club for his local football team. This brief experience signaled Jiri's first foray into the world of fighting, and it proved a sign of things to come. Following his fighting escapades on the streets of South Moravia, the seed of war had already been sown in the heart and mind of Jiri Prochazka, and before anyone knew it, he had already started training in MMA. And this was in no small part to inspiration from MMA greats like Fedor and Mirko Cro Cop. Like lots of MMA stars, Jiri's first dive into the world of combat sports was through Muay Thai, and after months of intense training, he won the Czech Muay Thai Championship at the tender age of 19. This was a positive sign of things to come for Prochazka. Following this accomplishment, Jiri made his professional MMA debut in 2012 after signing for Gladiator Fighting Championship. After amassing a 14-2 record over 4 years and capturing and defending the GFC Light Heavyweight Championship, Prochazka eventually signed with the Rizin Fighting Federation, the apex fighting promotion in Japan, and he did so to great effect.
Prochazka drops him.
Is that Rizin pushes and becomes one of their main guys. He's got the look, he's got the attitude, and when he fights like this, where he's getting beat.
After spending less than 5 years in the promotion, he amassed a further 12 wins, with 11 of those coming by knockouts. This was what established Prochazka's reputation as one of the best knockout artists in the whole of MMA. Following his success in Rizin, Jiri made the life-changing switch to the Ultimate Fighting Championship in 2020. Arriving with a lot of hype based on his exploits in previous promotions, every MMA fan was holding their breath on whether he could replicate his vicious streak in the biggest martial arts organization on earth. And he has clearly done that, and then some. Just 3 fights into his UFC career, Prochazka captured the 205-pound championship after victories against Volkan Ozdemir, Dominic Reyes, and Glover Teixeira, with all victories coming by finishes. He has taken the UFC light heavyweight division by storm, and if all signs are to be believed, it might go on for a long while yet. But how exactly has he done this, and what makes Prochazka such a force to be reckoned with? When you think of the word unorthodox, the first name that will certainly come to mind is Prochazka. From his training regimens to his in-cage fighting style, everything about this man screams unpredictable. Unlike most MMA stars that would rather hit heavy bags or make use of other conventional training methods, Jiri has been known to make use of trees as a means to build his striking, and this is in no small part to his samurai mindset. During a recent interview, Jiri disclosed that the main motivation and driving force behind his samurai and warrior mentality was a book written by Miyamoto Musashi.
And after that, I started with martial arts. And after that, my coach, Yaroslav, gave me the book of 5 rings from Miyamoto Musashi. Then it's my life changed a lot.
And he has fully implemented this way to his life both within and outside the sport, especially when you consider that he spent 3 whole days in a dark room without food and water. You heard that right, 3 days. Couple this with his insane fighting style, and you have a scary proposition for any fighter in the UFC. He stands weird with his hands extremely low, throws strikes from different angles and positions. He is a submission specialist. He has a mean streak, which means that he's not afraid of a slugfest, and his chin is the stuff of legend. Whatever thing you throw at Prochazka, you can be sure that he has an answer for it. As we eagerly await the rematch between Jiri Prochazka and Glover Teixeira, the MMA world is eagerly anticipating the dawn of a new dominant force in the light heavyweight division. For years, the great John Jones made the division his stomping ground, and if all evidence is to be believed, then Prochazka certainly has the physical and mental attributes to do just that.